Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have more cool comic books discussion fun. This such topic will be about the weather goddess Storm. Yes, and this will be another power levels comparison in terms of how they characterize Storm in the animation, comics, cartoons, and the major motion picture big screen and the live action, of course. So we're going to be going over different power levels regarding what many of us have seen of Storm throughout these particular formats. I must say that I am a comic book reader, but I've read very few things about Storm in the comic books. But I have watched a lot about Storm in the animated cartoon series. I believe they characterize her as being a very powerful weather goddess, but not necessarily immortal. But nevertheless, she was a super strong. She was an able body. She had full control over the weather, atmospherics, temperatures, and she knew how to weaponize them and use them for defensive purposes. So when I first was made aware of Storm as a character, a serious character, I watched her in the cartoon Xmen. This series came out sometimes in the early 90s, I believe, mid to early 90s to late 90s. Sometime around that time, the series was dope, and they characterized Storm as being incredibly powerful, near invincible, but she was still not completely able to withstand all types of enemy attacks. So that's why she had a team to back her up. But Storm, she's one of the class A level, immensely powerful superheroes in terms of her having full control over the weathery conditions of the worldly, meaning she can create any weather artificially just like that in a moment's notice. This is the characterization of Storm in the cartoon still. Now let's go to the big screen characterization. Storm was characterized by the very beautiful, talented Halle Berry. And I believe they had her spot on in the first live action movie showing. She had full control over all weathery conditions. She could fly. Her eyes glowed colors. But in the first movie, she really didn't have guided lightning power where she could shoot it out of her hands, right? I didn't see her do that until at least the fourth movie, maybe third or fourth movie where she could actually conjure the lightning out of her hands. Like Storm in the comic books or cartoons, they characterize her as being able to make weather, not necessarily shoot it out of her hands, but in an X-Men live action movie, she had that power too. Not only could she control weathery conditions and make lightning strike around any particular person or thing, she could also make it shoot out of her hands. This is the live action characterization of Storm as seen on the big screen, played by Halle Berry. So, that was a bit surprising when she had that type of power where she could actually shoot lightning. I was like, wow, why didn't she do that in the first movie against Sabretooth or the Toad if she could have simply channeled the lightning out of her hands? So, but it was a cool power for her to eventually give her in that particular X-Men movie. I thought that was cool. I thought that her power levels in terms of on the big screen were still almost equal to the cartoon levels or the comic book levels. But as you know, the cartoons and the comic books tends to overly inflate all of their powers anyway. So maybe they don't want to give them all those powers on the big screen because they want to make their struggles more believable if it is a chance that they could be beaten. Indeed, folks. Yeah, well, I wanted to get that out there. in terms of Storm. So let me know what you think about this and tell me your opinion, nations, and feelings towards Storm as well.